The way people buy has fundamentally changed. It's no longer the case that somebody wants to talk to a sales rep, learn from them, and be guided through the process and have them be the one that gives them all the information. The internet, through social media and through search, has changed the way that people buy in the sense that most buyers now prefer to do their own research online. They're very comfortable doing online searches, looking at reviews, and learning a lot about products and services. So by the time they end up talking to a salesperson, number one, they might know more than the salesperson does. And number two, they already know what they want to buy. They just need to find the salesperson that'll help them get that. Because of this fundamental shift in the way that people buy, it's imperative now, as a salesperson, a marketing person, or as a business owner, that you adapt a digital sales process. This sales process, number one, has to put you and position you online in a space with visibility through search and through social. Number two, it needs to elevate you as a person that's trusted. You need to be that trusted expert, that trusted advisor, that as someone is doing their own research online, you show up and you are that person that they trust and they want to buy from. And this also needs to be a strategy that you can scale. And the best part about digital technology is you create something once and you can show it to hundreds or even thousands of people. This is what we're talking about when we say a digital sales strategy. Something that allows you to sell the way that people want to buy and truly build leverage in your business by scaling through digital channels. The way that we do this is through something called the favorite teacher framework. That is, you become that favorite teacher online. And you probably think back through high school or middle school, college, whatever, you probably had some favorite teachers, right? Those teachers that were super good, taught the content really well. And even if that's not what you're doing today and you totally fall in love with that subject to keep doing it, that class was great because they were great at being that teacher. And with this favorite teacher framework, you need to be that favorite teacher. You need to create content, publish it online, build an audience, and ultimately build trust at scale. So our favorite teacher framework has three components. At the very top of the funnel is educate. This is where you create content and reach a wider audience. The middle of the funnel is connect. This is where you take that audience that you've developed on search and on social through educational content, and then you connect with them through some sort of lead generation or having to build an audience like a newsletter, any way where you can turn them into identifiable leads. Then finally, at the bottom of the funnel is consult. So in a typical sales process, at the bottom of the funnel, you are trying to close deals by selling to people. At the bottom of the favorite teacher funnel, you are consulting them. You are that trusted advisor. At this point, they've already learned from you at the top of the funnel. They've consumed your educational content. So they have some innate trust with you. Really, at this point, instead of going one to many, like you are at the top of the funnel, at the bottom of the digital sales funnel, you are just consulting people. You are working one-on-one and helping them find the solution and guiding them to that happy ending they're looking for. If implemented correctly, this favorite teacher framework can help you become super successful in the digital sales world. It'll position you as that trusted expert, that thought leader. It'll help you generate tons and tons of leads, and ultimately, it'll help you win more deals by being that trusted expert. So let's now break down a few things that you can do at each stage of the funnel to get started. So at the very top of the funnel, educate. This is where you ultimately become that favorite teacher. And here it's all about creating good educational content. I know that might sound intimidating for some people who are not used to creating content, but ultimately, if you're already seeing customers, you already have the content. You just need to put it online. Anytime you're in a prospect meeting or a sales call or talking with an existing customer, you are hearing them talk about their problems. You're hearing them ask questions in the process. Those are all things that you can turn into content. You take those questions you're hearing, the most frequently asked questions you get, and you turn them into social media posts. You create a video about them. You turn them into a blog post. All of those things allow you to take those one-on-one conversations that you're already having and scaling them to one-to-many. You already are that expert. Now it's just time to turn that into expertise online, allowing you to build that authority and expand your reach. So to get started, some things I recommend in the educate part of the funnel is simply writing down the top 10 questions that your ideal customer is asking you. Some of these things might be about your specific product or service, but hopefully it's a little bit earlier on in the process. When your prospect is initially discovering that problem they have, what are those questions they're asking? When they're researching solutions, what are those questions they're asking? Think deeply about this and write down some good notes. From there, Simply create content about it and think about your own personal way of how you like to communicate. Maybe it's written, maybe it's in video, maybe it's both, maybe it's presentations, whatever that might be. Just get started with answering some of those common questions through some sort of digital medium that you can publish online through a blog or on social media or through email lists and newsletters. Of course, you're not just doing this once. To really be successful at it, it takes time. This is a marathon and not a sprint. So what I recommend is be consistent with creating good educational content. You won't get results the very first day, but typically 3, 6, 9 months out, if you stay consistent with every single week creating good content, you'll be shocked at the kind of reach and expansion you can get with the size of your audience. And not only are you building an audience, but more importantly, for the world of sales, you are building trust, the ultimate currency of business. Now that you have the audience, now that you have that trust, then we move on to the connect stage of the funnel. This is where you take that big audience you've created, you've casted that wide net, and now you need to capture those through leads. Here it's all about calls to actions. So there's direct call to actions, like asking people to have a consult call with you, get a demo, get a quote. Those are things you're probably already doing, although maybe not. You want to make sure you have some easy way for someone to have a direct call to action with you. You also want transitional call to actions. So not everybody is ready to buy. As you might know, some sales processes take a very long time, some 6, 12, 18, 24 months even. So you need to have transitional call to actions or steps people can take in between the initial time they see you and the actual purchase they have from you. So transitional call to actions are things like lead magnets, so webinar registrations, guide downloads, newsletter subscriptions. Any way someone could take a mini step of working with you where they identify themselves, so now they're in your pipeline, but they're not quite ready to make that purchase yet. The real key with any lead magnet that you create is to make sure it provides value. You don't want to create a checklist or guide or a newsletter that's simply spammy and not helpful, because that's going to be a reflection on you. You truly want to give them a taste of what it's like to work with you. Give them a free sample as it is of what kind of value they can expect if they end up purchasing from you. You'll create these lead magnets, you'll create these direct call to actions, and ultimately you want to funnel these into your sales CRM, somewhere where you have a database of anybody that's interacted with you, any of your online content. So not only can you follow up with them from a sales perspective, but you can also nurture that audience and grow that list over time. Because again, in the world of digital sales, people don't want to be sold to. These are people who are doing their own research and they're going to be ready to buy when they're ready to buy, but you are already positioning yourself as that trusted expert. So in this connect stage, it's really all about getting those people to identify themselves and then helping them understand the value you can provide over time and nurturing them so that when they're ready to buy, the only person they're going to talk to is you, which then leads to the bottom of the funnel, consult. This is where you actually do the selling. This is where you take that trust that you built up and you cash it in for an actual deal. The key here in the world of digital sales is really to be that trusted advisor and not that salesperson. People don't want pushy salespeople today. They want people who will help them buy. So be that trusted expert, help consult them one-on-one. And like I said earlier, when you're doing the top of funnel stuff, it's one to many. You can't really give personal specific advice. But down at the bottom of the funnel, when you have a qualified prospect who's talking to you, again, they're probably excited to talk to you. They've seen your videos, they've read your blog posts, they know you are the person they want to work with. This is your opportunity to shine and be a true consultant. This is where you uncover their specific problems, their specific pain points. You guide them to a solution that's specific for their business so they can truly feel empowered to make that buying decision. This is probably my favorite part of the favorite teacher framework. This is where I love to shine because I love being that trusted advisor for my clients and I like helping people solve their problems. Don't get me wrong, I love creating content at the top of the funnel. It's great to get that reach and build that audience, but it's really fun to find people who saw your blog post or saw your social media posts, they reached out to you, and now you can help them be successful. So the key action items in the bottom part or the consult stage is to simplify your buying process and make it really easy for people to go from that connect stage to an actual purchase from you. So lay out the steps to buy from you really simply, 3 to 5 steps max, and help guide people through that change they have. Because as you know, every purchase you make, any solution you implement is really a change management solution. People have a problem, you have a solution, and you're helping them go from point A to point B. you are that trusted advisor there. So truly think about the types of changes people are making, the problems they're having, the solution you have, and make that process simple to buy from you. Over time, as you implement this favorite teacher framework, you'll be surprised at the kind of results that you can get. At the top of the funnel, you're going to reach a lot more people than you can through cold calling or through networking in person. And at the bottom of the funnel, you're going to enjoy your job so much more when you're not chasing deals, but people are actually excited to work with you and see you as a trusted advisor that they can work with. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a marathon and not a sprint. It takes time to build up that audience. It takes time to develop lead magnets and ways to connect with people. And ultimately, it takes time to work deals where you are a trusted advisor and not trying to pressure someone into buying from you. But over time, as you implement this, again, 3, 6, 9, 12 months out, you'll start seeing those results. And ultimately, your pipeline will grow and you'll be closing a lot more deals. This is how you create digital leverage in your business. This is how you truly implement a digital sales process that aligns with the way that people want to buy today. So as you're doing your sales planning and your sales strategy, I want you to keep that favorite teacher framework in mind. Educate, connect, and consult. Because ultimately, this is how you're going to be successful in the digital age.